Ministry of External Affairs of India statement called out the hypocrisy of the US on importing uranium from Russia. An Indian reporter asked Trump about this, and he said, I don't know anything about it. Another name of hypocrisy is Trump. Trump is using the leverage of being a superpower. He imposed additional 25% tariffs on India. Mr. Ajit Doval, the Indian National Security Advisor, visited Russia. How will India and Russia counter the US now? Pranay says, isn't this hypocrisy pro max? Trump threatening India over Russian oil while the US itself imports uranium and fertilizer from Moscow, and then claiming ignorance when asked. Does Washington still think that New Delhi will bend to such pressure tactics like before? Well, Trump has now realized that India is not going to bend to his pressure tactics. And his pressure tactics are not going to work at all. Beyond a certain amount of tariffs, it doesn't matter anymore. So is it hypocrisy? Of course it is hypocrisy. Europe is importing more oil and gas, way more oil and gas from Russia than India. But he is not going to look at that. China is importing plenty of oil and gas from Russia. Trump wouldn't look at that. The US itself is importing fertilizers. It's importing uranium hexafluoride from Russia. They won't look at that. But India is importing oil and gas. Terrible, evil, terrible. You're funding Putin's war effort. Are you people kidding me? Anyhow, that's how it is. This is obviously hypocrisy. But you see, like I've said in the past, hypocrisy indicates how powerful you are. Only the powerful can afford to be hypocritical. You've got to earn the right to be a hypocrite. And the US has earned this right by becoming the most powerful nation in the world. So they can have double standards. Hypocrisy means double standards, obviously, right? So, yeah, it is hypocrisy. And so be it. It's okay. Let them play these double games. Let them have double standards. We're going to keep on pointing it out for sure. Yes, and that's what we did. In the past, the MEA would not have said this, that the US is being a hypocrite. But we have pointed it out very clearly this time. And Trump, if you look at his track record, is shameless. He has no shame. So he was asked point blank by a reporter, and he said, I don't know anything about it. All right. Okay. We all know what the deal is. So look, that's the way of the world. The US has always been this sort of a nation, treating one nation with one set of standards and one set of rules, and other nations with other sets of rules. It's always been that sort of thing. They keep on harping about democracy, but they prop up dictators all around the world. They keep on harping about human rights. They flatten entire nations. Iraq, Libya. How many people died as a consequence of the US invasion of Iraq? As a consequence of what they did in Libya? Libya has been turned into an open-air slave market by the Americans, as a consequence of American actions. Doesn't matter. No democracy, human rights required there, right? The US has always been this sort of nation. So it's no surprise that they are doing this. And I would recommend, I would invite all of you to study the US track record. Since 1945 until today, what are the major US interventions in Africa, major US interventions in other countries? What have been the kinds of interventions? What have been the consequences of those interventions? What kind of regime change operations have they done? Top 20 regime change operations done by the US and other nations. Check it out. Look it up. That will educate you as to what sort of track record the US actually has. So yes, it is hypocrisy. They say one thing but do something which is essentially the exact opposite of what they claim to stand for. They do this moral grandstanding, democracy, human rights. I mean, look at their track record. What is the US? I mean, look at the nature of the nation itself. You know what I call Pakistan, right? What do I call Pakistan? An artificial temporary nation. What is the US? It's, I don't know about temporary, but artificial, absolutely. The nation that's founded on genocide and slavery and so much more. So that's how it goes, Okay, so Abhisha says, how will India and Russia counter the US now? Well, we'll have to see about that. What can be done? So clearly, India is not going to buy US weapons, US F-35s or whatever. So I think there's going to be a strengthening of the India-Russia relationship. Let's not call it an alliance. It's a privileged relationship, a strategic relationship. And Mr. Modi recently tweeted he's looking forward to meeting his friend Mr. Putin, right? And the Russian readout said that Mr. Putin apprised Mr. Modi of the recent of the communications he had with the Americans, because India and Russia have a privileged relationship. So we will share such information. So there is going to be a significant strengthening of the India-Russia relationship. I expect that India will stop purchasing any kind of American weaponry. Whatever orders may be in the pipeline will be all frozen and cancelled. I think the Sukhoi 57 may happen, possibly. The S-500 may happen. Much more may happen. China could jump into the mix, possibly, depending on the Chinese approach towards all of this. So I think a lot is possible. A lot of synergy is possible between India and Russia to counter the US.